Hi, it's Gina again with Sinclair Townsend Company, and I am here to update you on the latest with our potential donor, David Dollarman. The meeting with David went great, and I'll tell you why I think it went so great, and it's because I listened. And by listening, I learned a lot. I went into this meeting with many questions in my mind that I was hoping to get the answers to. The four main questions I had: who, when, what, and how much. So I wanted to find out if David has any important relationships I need to be aware of. While talking with him about the organization, he was pleased to know that our new executive director at the homeless shelter is someone he knows, and more importantly, is someone he holds in high regard. What does that tell me? It tells me that our new executive director needs to be involved in this cultivation process and eventually in the solicitation. Another thing I was listening for was any mention of friends, peers, business associates who also may have an interest in our mission and our organization. A good fundraiser is always thinking ahead, so you need to be thinking about when would be an appropriate time to ask David for a gift. Obviously, that time has not come yet, but keep your ears open to maybe get an indication when that time might be. So in the meeting, he does mention that his niece is having a wedding in the spring, and he tells me that he's actually footing the bill for the wedding. This simply tells me that he most likely will not be open to a large gift around that time due to the financial constraint. But be careful not to make assumptions. This just may require more discussion at future meetings. What are David's interests? In what areas is he interested in donating his time, his money? David tells me in the meeting that he is semi-retired and he has an interest in helping the homeless re-enter the job market. I tell him about a similar program that we've recently started, and we would appreciate any help he could offer. So we make plans to meet again regarding his involvement in that program. I also mentioned to David that our organization is planning to go into a capital campaign within the next 2 years or so, and I tell him a little bit about the projects that we'll be testing in our feasibility study. When I mention a new shelter that we are considering in a particular area of town, he immediately shows interest. He asks a lot of good questions, and he also shares with me confidentially that the reason he is paying for his niece's wedding is because his brother became homeless due to an addiction problem. And although he tried desperately to turn his life around, he eventually died while living on the streets a few years ago. So that's why he recently moved to the area, to be closer to his brother's family as he continues to support them financially and emotionally. He said that although his brother was too proud to ask his family for assistance, a homeless shelter with the kind of counseling and support our organization offers could have made all the difference. He mentioned it would be a great tribute to his brother's family to be able to help others so they won't have to suffer in the same way. Could this be a naming opportunity? Remember, this is just a cultivation meeting, not a solicitation for a gift. However, I am still listening for clues of potential financial support. At this point, all I know about his capability is what I learned through my online research and just by listening to clues that he's provided during our conversations. One big clue, during the meeting, he asked me the estimated cost of the new shelter. I gave him our early estimation. His reaction and body language told me that this is something he not only is interested in, but is capable of. So did I learn by the end of the cultivation meeting that David and my organization are compatible? Well, there were definitely sparks. David was interested and he was engaged. Could be my winning personality, but you know what? Personality is important in securing and maintaining a donor relationship, but it can only go so far unless you have something to really offer your prospect. And what we have to offer David is simply a feeling of community and purpose, and that satisfying feeling that he's making a difference, and he is making a difference. People give for many different reasons, and quite honestly, David surprised me. I assumed that he may be someone looking for a charity he could donate to for tax reasons, or maybe just to get a little ego boost. But it turns out that he has a huge heart for the mission. David shared a personal story with me. This indicates trust in the relationship. So I would say we're off to a very good start.